and welcome to another episode of Jen's Gem with me, Marvin Schneider, and of course this is Jen Ward.
Hi everyone.
You know, Jen, we are on location, we are out of the office, we're taking some time in the sun. We're in our favorite mountain stream retreat, and we thought we'd record a Jen's Gem. So what's the topic of today's conversation, Jen?
Confusing awakening with transcending. It's a subtle difference in people's understanding, but there is a definite distinct
Difference.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people are awakening, and that's really great. A lot of people are having a real tough time of it, and they're perceiving an energy, they're getting sort of closer to source. That's all really good. For a lot of people, that experience is really chaotic, and a lot of the clients that you work with, Jen, are kind of people that are in that space, right? That they're struggling to make sense of the energies.
So here's the thing: they're desperate for truth. Because everywhere around us has been this illusion we've been ensconced in. So then they come to a session and they get a sense of truth. And they're waking up a little bit. I'm not used to all these flies.
That's okay. Just keep into the camera.
They're waking up. And so they're getting a sense of a difference between truth and all the programming that's been around them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're trying to sort it all out.
Mm-hmm.
And they confuse waking up, that first initial blast of understanding truth, with already being transcended. And it's not the same thing.
Okay, because I can imagine it can be a bit of a head rush when all of a sudden, you're awakening to truth. You've got a better understanding of being connected to source and being an aspect of source, having a human experience. So that's quite a bit of a head rush. And so
yeah. So for a lot of people now these days, they'll say, I remember when I woke up. Right. I remember when I had that aha moment.
Exactly.
And yeah, you remember that. And but then it's like, what do you do with that once you have it? Who knows the answers after that?
Right.
So many people are waking up all at once that they don't know who to trust and who to believe, and they still have so much muscle memory of programming and conditioning and fear. So they see fear all around.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, because they're now being attuned to energy, and because we are part of the lower world, for better or for worse, for now at least, there's duality, right? So in energy, there's positive energy and there's negative energy. So and so a lot of people are being sort of impacted by what's perceived to be kind of negative energy, but it's just the duality,
right,
of, I guess, the perpetual sort of bliss or no state, really.
Well, yes, and the thing about people who have been working in the religious journey is like religions down through the ages have taught people to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from the duality.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the wrong way to teach them how to address this duality. So now what's happening is, okay, they're awakening, so they understand what they've been told about just do this, do that, and do that.
Right.
Isn't enough for them. They have to know why, where, how, when.
Right, and
what.
It's confusing.
And
right?
It's scary because it's like all these things that they were trained, like stay away from this and stay away from that. Now they're realizing that there's a little bit of truth in these things, and how do they merge that with their higher intentions of being empowered or being accountable?
Okay, so we've positioned, a lot of people are awakening, and it's very confusing and chaotic and whatever, and quite frankly a lot of people are struggling, and we've seen that in certainly the work that you do. Absolutely. In all of the group sessions that we do, the 5D forum, all of that good stuff. Okay, so the topic of this conversation is awakening versus transcendence, or the difference between the two. So tell the listener about transcendence.
So transcendence is important. The main goal of transcendence is to rise above the lower vibrations of the physicality, the emotions, the Akashic records, all your engrams of past, present, and future, the mentality, and then the subtle energies. Anything that is going to keep you from knowing yourself as a pure nothingness, which is pure love, by the way. So the thing that people fight in their own individuality is the ego. The ego is the gatekeeper for their lower self to keep them safe and from going and getting too much truth into their experiences. So they've been using the ego to feel around in who they are. And so it's not enough to like rely on the ego, because the ego wants to exist. And in transcendence, the ego is a tool to like feel around with, but it's not the voice that you listen to. It's not the higher self.
Okay. So in the car, as we're driving to our little secret spot, and we're not going to tell people where this is, because see, here's the thing: as gorgeous as this spot is, right now there's one other camper sort of behind us, a couple of 300 or 400 yards, a couple hundred yards away. But other than that, there's no one here, and we like it this way because it's really right. Okay, so in the car on the way to our little secret stream, you talked about the characteristic of transcendence having all of your bodies in almost synchronous alignment. Perfect alignment. So can you just touch on that, and then we're going to talk about the difficulty of actually achieving that.
Okay, so a lot of people, it's kind of like talking from on a tangent, but a lot of people are perceiving from the astral plane, which is the emotional body, and they believe it's a physical body. Like I talk about you and I hear you talk to me in the astral body, and I say, what did you say? You say, I didn't say anything, but we're having conversations and experiences. We're interacting on the astral plane. So those two are aligned.
Well, they're very close together,
Right.
You keep saying. It's almost like there's a hair's breadth in energy difference between the physical plane and the astral plane.
But what the good thing about that is what people are doing is aligning with the astral body. So they're perceiving through their astral eyes, and they believe it's their physical eyes, and that's good in a way
So
if
it's
they
a
can
good
be
thing.
aware of that.
Right.
It's bad for some people. Some people like lay in bed and they think they're paralyzed because they can't. They think they're awake and they can't get up. But what they're doing is laying there in their astral body, looking out of their astral eyes. So it's terrifying. But if you know what it is, then it's not so scary.
All right, so just to keep the conversation rolling, so
Sure.
so we've talked about the physical plane, the astral plane, there's a number of other planes, and then we're going to talk about the alignment between
Right.
all of these planes and how difficult it is to actually achieve it.
Well, just like you're looking through your astral eyes when you're looking out, you're in your physical body. You should be able. You have a astral body, causal body, mental body, etheric body. So what you want to do is be able to look out and perceive from your astral body, your causal body, your mental body, your etheric body, through your physical eyes. So when you're aligned, you're seeing the wisdom from different levels of consciousness. You're feeling the wisdom from different levels of consciousness. You're touching truth from different levels of consciousness.
All at once, though.
All at once, but at first it's not at once. It's that confusing. It's
Right.
that insanity.
Okay.
And that's what people don't understand. They're toggling all these experiences from the physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric, and they're trying to make sense of what's right. And so it's a problem in the linear world of the physicality because a lot of people, as they're waking up, they'll get truth for themselves, and they don't know which level of consciousness it's coming from, but they tend to think they're right and everyone else is wrong, or they want their truth to be someone else's truth. And it really doesn't work like that, because every one of these worlds is expansive. And your experiences in the physical world, your astral world, your causal world, and your mental world are so expansive that you're not going to have the same touchstone relationship with every symbol. Like someone who's drowned in the water isn't going to have the same symbol as someone who loves swimming in the water. So, so all these different, that's one thing. All these different things have to line up for you, and you have to find and experience these things for yourself. What is truth for you?
Okay, so the confusing thing for a lot of people that are awakening is that they're getting glimpses of these things, and because they don't have a whole reference point and experience space, it can be it seemed quite chaotic and a challenge to navigate through. Okay, and so now so this is a very personal question, and I actually asked you in the car, so I know what the answer is.
Yeah.
So you know, you've done a lot of work in energy. You know, you're a badass in energy. You help clients up the yin yang. So would you describe yourself as having transcended, having achieved all of that synergistic alignment between all of the bodies in all of those planes?
Of course not. Of course not. Anyone who thinks they are is still, like, basically delusional, because you can get glimpses of it, but unless you're walking, talking, breathing in truth every minute, it's
right. And so you often describe the adepts as being ancient beings who have sort of achieved transcendence, and often I think you say they do take a physical body.
They've been physical, and yes, they're still in the physical form. The adepts the adepts that I work with have all transcended. So that brings up a really good point. A lot of people, when they're waking up, they have spirit guides, people that inwardly that they're talking to. They think just because they're talking to someone from an inner realm that person has transcended. But just because you talk to someone, just because you talk to someone and they give you advice and they don't have a physical body, they may be in the astral realms, the causal realms, the mental realms. They have not transcended. So they're not giving you the highest truth. And I've seen that with a lot of people who think that just because they're getting advice from an intangible realm, they're getting the highest truth.
Right.
And here's a clue. If anyone reprimands you, makes you feel bad about yourself, or induces fear in you, they are not an adept. They are not transcended. They are they're almost like a know-it-all from the astral plane, a know-it-all from the mental planes, who enjoy giving advice. That's really important to understand.
Absolutely. Okay, so you say you're not transcended in this sort of physical incarnation. I sure as hell don't claim to be transcended. In fact, I don't even claim to.
But I think you're, as far as physicality and everything, I think you're the closest to what I've met in a
Okay,
person.
so here's the thing. We spoke about this in the car. It strikes me that it is very difficult for one single incarnated being to, be fully adept in each one of those realms. Now, I know you're very adept at the realms outside of the physical, and so, your experience of the physical is, challenging. And so, but I'm almost the polar opposite. I'm very grounded in the physical, but I don't have the same skills in the other realms as Jen does.
Yeah, you're adept in the physical because you can.
Right, and you're adept in the other realms. And but the thing is that the real transcendence and the real all-rounded adept is an adept in all of the realms all at once, which is quite the challenge. Okay, here's the thing. One of the great things about what we're doing is that you're skilled in your area, in your lane, I'm skilled in my lane. The fact that we're together and that, you know, we complement each other in skills that you have that I lack and that I have and you that you lack is a really powerful thing.
Let me be clear though. I don't think we lack those skills. We have chosen not to focus on those or to hone those because they're not necessary for our purpose, our individual purpose, and our connected purpose.
Okay, and so that being what it is, if you have the opportunity to find someone that complements you in that way, then that's a pretty powerful thing.
Yeah, so it's almost like an expansion of consciousness on this planet, because being in that physical relationships, we've all seen how relationships go, and it's like attacking the other one or whatever, the habitual kind of behavior. But to stay in your lane while you're in the physical and just use your understanding of higher intention while you're with that other person, to never go into them versus us mode and never go into attack mode and always perpetuate that other person is pretty profound.
All right. So we might wind it up there. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy our outdoor. This is going to be our new office.
This is where we're going to go camping and do an overnight camping for the first time. So it's going to be really exciting.
First couple of times until we sort of really kit ourselves up, and then we'll just experience a whole bunch of other places. But this one's pretty cool because it's got a lot of things and it's in pretty close proximity to our house. So
and the dogs are sleeping under the car right now. They went swimming, and Maisie went into the water on her own, which was really exciting. Can we tell them about that scary thing?
There's some spiders that...
No, this was the Mark Spitz of spiders. This thing was like doing the breast thing, and I'm in the water thinking that I'm safe.
Yep.
He was huge.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll get the technology better, the audio, the video better next time we do an outdoor clip, but we thought we'd just take the opportunity to shoot this one. Thanks for joining in. Hope you have a great time, and bye for now.
Bye for now.